don't know why I hear that song come up in my theme music. Hello, hello, hello. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Yesterday I talked to Dr. Boyce and he was like, "Did you say Happy New Year's?" I was like, "No, it's Happy New Year." He was like, "It's not Happy New Year's, it's Happy New Year." I was like, "Okay, well, Happy New Year."
Just 1 year.
So I'm making sure I say it right. Happy New Year. Okay. I am Lenny Javette. This is the Melanated Air Hour. For the next hour, we are going to fill your airwaves with melanin talk. Not just me though. I have two of my beautiful co-hosts here with me. Teddy at the Real Teddy Talks is with us today from Egypt. What's up, girl? You let the hair out today.
Got the hair out today.
Yes.
The rest of life.
Yes. We have Keisha Rocknow at We Inspire Brand with us today.
Yay.
I can see you guys are chiming in and tuning in. Please drop a Happy New Year in the chat. Please say hi to us. Please say hello. We are live today. I know the last couple of episodes we were doing replays because it was the end of the year, but we're live today. Happy New Year. We're having the conversation. New year, new me. What does that mean? Is it really new you? Did you really wake up and you're like, "Oh my God, I'm brand new today"? Because people think that that's what's going to happen when it's the new year. Like all of a sudden the time rolls over, it's the new year and bam, I'm different. And we all know that's not how it happens. People make resolutions, they don't keep them. And so we want to talk today about how do you have a new year, not necessarily a new you, but a better you.
Yeah.
And then how do you keep those resolutions and those goals throughout the year? So as you're chiming in, as you're tuning in, please drop a hello, drop a Happy New Year, drop a B1 fam, drop a hey ladies, something to let us know you are here and you are in the room. As we're getting started, Teddy, tell us about your new year. What'd you do?
So my new year was a reflective one. Okay. I took my time with life. I did a lot of reflection. What do I want to do? What do I want to be? What do I want this new year to look like? And I didn't hit the ground running like I did last New Year. So into 2021, I was running 100 miles an hour. I knew I wanted to start my business. I wanted entrepreneurship to be the goal. I'm trying to make money. I'm trying to prep my life for retirement. So I've been going 100 miles an hour, I feel like, the whole year. So this new year, I just pumped them brakes. I was in neutral, like simmering for weeks, like 2 weeks. Because I really had to get my mind right. I wanted to get my mind together. I wanted to reevaluate what was important, which is my family time, and giving my kids and my husband the me that they deserve. And everything ain't about money. It ain't about the next thing. So I was very reflective, got back into meditating, and I'm so glad because that's hard. Like for me to sit still and be still, that's almost a feat that doesn't happen, but it's been happening the last several days. So I'm proud. So my mantra for the new year is baby steps, baby.
I love that.
Okay.
That's hashtag baby steps. That's what it is, right? You can't, man. I love the analogy. How do you eat an elephant? Just one bite at a time.
Yeah.
Baby steps. How do you build a house? One brick at a time. Baby steps. And baby steps is what gets us there. It's the reason why I changed my business to Upscale Noir. It's just a scale. It's just a step at a time. It doesn't stop from here to here. It's from here to here to here to here to here to here to here. Sometimes it's a flat line, and then you take another one up. But it's baby steps. I love that. Miss Keisha Rocknow, what you do for New Year's? How was your New Year's, girl?
It was very quiet. So I got sick on Christmas. I got really, really sick. I'm still waiting for my results, but that's a different story. So like that whole week, the last week of 2021, I was sick. So I was in bed just trying to get better. I was just like, listen, health is wealth.
It is.
That's what I need. I need to get better. I'm not worried about no business or no posting on social media or not, like, and that's where my mind was, because y'all know how I am, like as far as like mental health, physical health, like your business and your things can't be good unless you are good. So I was supposed to go back to business that week because I had took the week prior off because Jedediah was visiting me, so we had an amazing week. And then that next week I was sick, and I'm just like, well, can really, you know, I had some stuff like scheduled and things like that for my business, but I was just like, no, I have to focus on getting better. So New Year's Eve was actually the first day that I felt like a lot better. Like I was still like congested and coughing and like things like that, but I was actually out of the bed and I could actually like do stuff. And so I was just like, all right, well, I guess this is what New Year's Eve is going to be for me. And it was quiet. It was just me and my mom. And like we bought in the new year, I got a little bit emotional because I don't know if I expressed this on the show, but last year my uncle passed away and he was like my dad. So I was just like, wow, like I can't believe we're not bringing him into 2022 with us. Like that's something that I'm leaving in 2021 that I don't want to leave in 2021, right? It's like, no, I want you to come with me, but other than that, like it was very quiet. I thank God I, you know, set my goals every January 1st. I set my goals for the year and that was pretty much it. I couldn't believe that we were entering 2022. It was just like 2021 was like a blink. I was just like, did this really happen?
So we're in 2022 now. Hey, Madam President.
Hey,
Madam President.
What's good? What's good? Happy New Year to you. This is
Happy New Year.
2022. How was your New Year? What did you do?
Oh my God. I was in just me and the dogs and I was asleep. I was literally like woke up to Happy New Year text and I remember saying like a prayer right before like midnight, but by the time it got to 12:30, I was out of here. I don't know. I did not to mention, I don't know if you guys had this going on where you were, but everybody was kind of like sniffling after Christmas, sick, not feeling well. And I was just like, after Christmas, I literally wasn't feeling well for a few days. And so by the time the New Year's Eve came around, I just was like, I don't want to be around no people. Everybody just. So I was real strict by the time we got to December 31st. And I was like, I was convinced that Big Brother put something in the air. I was like, look, I don't know what's going on. Everybody not feeling well. Leave me alone. Happy New Year, everybody. So I woke up to some very exciting Happy New Year texts. And it's always so exciting and, of course, refreshing. And I kind of did a Black Girl Magic poem, you know.
I saw your Black Girl Magic.
Yeah, because I was kind of, when I woke up, I was like, wow, you know, we survived a lot throughout, you know, 2020, 2021. The American people are so flexible and resilient, you know, Black people in general. We know how to adapt to a lot of different situations very quickly. And I just was kind of like, man, we kind of got through a lot and more to come, of course. But it was just like, we did that. Another year.
Another year. So in the comments, share with us. Tell us what you did for New Year's Eve. In the comments, we want you to be engaged. This session today is going to be engagement. We want to talk to you guys. We want you to talk to us. We want to hear from you. Tell us how you spent your New Year's or how you invested. I hate to use spent. Tell us how you invested your New Year. For New Year this year, man, my son was at his dad's. So I was by myself. I worked on my dissertation all of the day. I was determined to get my dissertation done for the end of the year. Did not. But I ended up at my sister's house doing a murder mystery dinner party. And it was so much fun. It was such a good time. And we got into it. Everybody had their character. My mom came with this white wig on and some white eyelashes and some leather pants. And I was a German and I looked at and researched how to speak German. And this earthy girl, she came in with no shoes on and flowers in her hair. It was so much fun. And then we played out the murder and had to guess who was the murderer. It was a good time. We've never done it before.
That's fun.
Who was the murderer?
Huh?
Who was the murderer?
The murderer, oh girl. So the murderer was this dude named Papa Vito.
Okay.
Papa Vito. Long story short, Papa Vito had worked at the vineyard. It was a wine mystery. So it was at the vineyard. And Papa Vito had worked at the winery for 60 years and nobody had respect for him. So he sent his nephew to jail to murder the cousin of that was supposed to inherit the vineyard. So when the cousin got out, it was actually his nephew. Girl,
Okay.
the craziest, the craziest
Whoa, that was a
mystery.
Yeah, like that sounds fun.
Yes, it was such a good time. And we got into it. We played it with the accents and all that kind of stuff. We put the costumes on with my suspenders over there. Like, it was a good time.
That's cute.
We did New Year's.
Right.
So when you woke up on January 1st, new year, new me, right? How did you feel? Did you feel brand new? Because every time I see people put that up, I just be like, there's no way you could be brand new in 24 hours. Like, you cannot go to sleep and be brand new, because if that was the case, why wouldn't you do it in October?
Right.
Can you only be brand new on January 1st?
Yeah. I didn't feel, I felt I still wasn't there. I wasn't where I wanted to be. I didn't wake up like, it's 2022, y'all. You know, it wasn't like that. It was like, we got to get you going, girl. We're going to get you going. So I've been very forgiving of myself lately. And I'm just trying to get in that mental space of not people pleasing, getting down to the roots of what I'm doing and why. And I don't have to be so pressed, like really just being more authentic, honestly. So I just woke up like it was a regular day, you know, like regular, because I'm like, I want to be better every day. If I want to make change, I'm going to say, you know what? I'm going to do this thing first thing in the morning, or I'm going to do some push-ups right now. Like whatever it is, I do my wall push-ups in between breaks or whatever. Like I meditate 3 minutes. I just close my eyes and try to get into the zone, because it's all about, you know, those little steps instead of this big drastic thing that you cannot possibly maintain. I'm like, nope, let's just do a little bit at a time. No new year, new you. Just be better than you was before, right? Whenever that was.
I'm happy you said that, Teddy, because I talk about that a lot as well, and Lene, you mentioned it too, as far as like October. Like, what's the difference between October 1st and January 1st? You know, like if you want to make changes in September, you don't have to wait until January to make the change. Like you could make the change in September, you know? So, and that procrastination and that prolonging, it's just like, no, like get it done now, you know? And it's okay if you don't have anything right now that is pressing, because you've been doing the work the months prior. So maybe you started something new in October and you've been consistent with it, and it's like you're in your routine already and you're doing the damn thing. Like that's awesome, you know? So I do think that there's this pressure to be a new you and like have these new goals and all of these things, and it's just like, well, if you did it before, you know, if you started it before, it's okay to just be in that routine and just continue on with whatever you put in place, you know, a month or 2 months ago.
Yeah,
absolutely. I love that. I was going to say really quickly that for some reason, I think like social media and all this access to everybody else's life, you know, puts an enormous amount of pressure on everybody and what's next, right? Like I always feel like it's so important to just kind of like, we don't celebrate our recoveries. Everybody try to act like they in the same space, in the same zone in the world, and it's not true. I mean, some people had severe setbacks. You know, some people, I know the internet constantly convinces everybody like, you know, these are your numbers, this is what you should be making, and this is how you hit it. But guess what? You probably won't hit it the same, because you got to lie. You probably, some of them lying to a lot of people about it. So, and then I heard this very important thing about, and I know that you all, like somebody was teaching about products, and the guy who's teaching people about sales, he said the thing about that, why you all can't hit that high margin in your products, is because the profit is in the course. The people teaching you about product, and it's the course that got them to the 175,000, not that $25, you know, product. So it's just a lot. So sometimes what I feel like for myself is that I literally recapped on a year, and I was like, damn, you was more consistent in 2021. You know, you should just try to continue and just be more intentional. Sometimes intentionality can all just transition in itself. Like I already said last time when we had our session, I wasn't going to put these like 18-year-old goals on myself. I'm not losing 100 pounds this year. I can pretend as if like, oh yeah, I'm going vegan right now. I'm about to start drinking all my vegetables. No, but what I will continue to say is, being health conscious is important. And every time I get a chance to make a choice, just make some better choices and drink that water, those things. Cause like the idea that all of this stuff, this overnight success is about to happen in 2022. Why can't we just have a better year? Why does it have to an extravagant, over the top, damn Beyonce knows year?
You don't have to wake up like this. Basically, is what. I know. I always tell people, New Year, new me it's not realistic. There's no way it's going to be a new year and it's going to be a new you, and nor should it. Like you shouldn't want to be a new you because then you lose all those experiences, all of those trials and tribulations, everything that you've actually gained over the years. You don't want to let that stuff go by being a new you. What you want to do is be a better you. You want to take all those experiences, all those trials, those tribulations, everything that you've learned and apply them. Don't make the same mistakes. Don't have to bump your head so many times. Do better, make better choices, make better decisions. Let certain people walk out of your life. Get closer to other people. Act on the things you're supposed to act on. Be consistent where you're supposed to be consistent. Be better than you were last year. And if you do that, you will continuously grow and ultimately will be a new you, because they say we change every 7 years. So if you're not changing and evolving, you're dying. So you should be new, but it shouldn't be overnight. It should be through gradual and consistent changes that you're making and that you're applying throughout your life in all these different areas. Now, like I think Teddy and Madam President alluded to, these should be small. They should be brick by brick, area by area, day by day. You are not going to wake up and have lost 100 pounds. But drinking your water, pushing back at certain meals, not eating after 9, you can drop five a month, 2 to 3 to 5 months. You know what I'm saying? So it's about being consistent and making those changes. The other thing that Keisha talked about was, what did I write down? Being consistent with your goals. If you fall off the resolution or you fall off the goal in February, it's okay to pick it back up in March. You don't got to wait till, I'll do it next year. No. If you set goals and they don't happen for you 60 days from now, because we know, the gym is full today. Everybody's out there right now today. In about 6 weeks, you can go in there. Ain't nobody gonna be there.
4 weeks.
Right.
4 weeks, nobody's gonna be there. So we set these lofty, Madam President called them 18-year-old goals that are super big. And then when we can't keep up with them, we just drop them for the rest of the year. And it doesn't have to be that way.
Right.
Small steps, baby steps, consistent steps, daily steps, weekly steps, monthly steps. So question for you ladies, what are some things that you guys do to be consistent throughout the year or to help you stay in tune with the goals that you set at the beginning of the year?
Before we go into that, Lene, can I just say that you should also be celebrating those small steps and those small wins. I feel like I guess that can go into the consistency. So
stop reading my page, okay? It's not there yet.
My bad.
Go ahead. I was going to use this question to answer that, but go ahead.
But yes, celebrating those small steps, those small wins, and that helps you to be consistent. At least it does for me. So if I set those small goals and I say, oh girl, you did that, that's great, and giving myself that encouragement, it helps me to move forward and eventually get to the big goal.
That's it. I wanted to quickly too say happy birthday to Dennis Spraggins. He said it was his birthday. Happy birthday. I think one way that you can help stay consistent, everybody's not a planner person. I actually saw a meme and it said, don't waste your money buying them planners and them colorful pens because you ain't gonna keep up with that. Something like that. And that is funny. Like I have my planner right here. Empty as it want to be, right? But one thing I do is try to document my goals and stay abreast of if I'm doing well. Now, a 12-week planner normally lasts me at least 16 weeks because there's weeks in there I don't write nothing, right? So I'm not going to skip that page. I'm just going to reuse it because it's empty.
Sometimes it's about finding the right planner too.
Yeah.
Sometimes
it's about finding the right planner.
Right.
It is. I really love it. This is like, I have a 12-week one that's perfect for me because I want things that elephant, like I'm biting it little chunk by chunk. But just try to hold yourself accountable. And I think that will help keep you going. If you set a goal, you may not reach your goal, but I wrote down my goal so I can see it there. And then maybe tomorrow I'm gonna do that thing,
Write the vision, make it plain. That's what the Bible says. I mean, I ain't gonna be out here preaching, but that is what the Bible says. And I believe in writing. I sat on the first and I wrote down. So I decided what my 6 priorities for the year were, which is God, myself, love, my son, my business, and my family. So those are my 6 priorities. And then I went through, and for each one of those priorities, I wrote down exactly, specifically what I wanted to see happen this year in each one of those areas. So that at the end of the year, I can see, did I do these things or did I maximize in these areas? But what you were saying about the planner, one thing I noticed about people who get planners is they let other people buy them a planner. If you really want to be good at planning and being strategic, pick out your own planner. There are literally a gazillion planners. Some of them have just way too much stuff. If you're overwhelmed by your planner, you're not going to use it.
Yeah.
Right.
If you get a planner and it doesn't have enough stuff, it's not going to hold you accountable. So you really have to be strategic even in the planner that you get. So a lot of times people will buy somebody a planner as a gift. Pick out your own planner. That was just kind of like a sidebar because I saw your planner and I'm looking at this planner that I'm supposed to be using. I forgot about it. Just opened it. As Eddie was talking about her planner, but it has a last month check-in. It has wellness. It has gratitude. It has notes. What I want to get started in, what I want to keep quit, and things I need to keep up. So I literally looked at like 15 different planners before I was like, these are the things that I want to focus on each month. So be intentional. I think somebody said it here. Be intentional about what you want to do and what you want to see come out of this year, out of each month, out of each week, out of each day.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
What would you like to add anything to that? How did you stay consistent this past year, Madam President?
Basically being a part of accountability groups, having people that are also anticipating you showing up. It helps with the consistency. Being a part of things, I think it helps with consistency as well. I think that was primarily the best thing for me is accountability groups. I think everything else, if I can decide not today, I will probably always decide not today or things. But accountability and I have an assistant for like my day job. So some of my shows. So knowing that someone is watching me also helps me with accountability as well. So I just feel like my accountability groups kind of stirred me in like a little consistency path.
How did you find your accountability group? Because somebody might be wondering, like, how do I even find? Y'all know I'm still getting over this cold. I can't talk about it.
It's all in my chest.
Every time I try to speak, I'm like, I'm drinking my tea out of my melanin rich cup. Like I'm trying to be. But how would somebody find an accountability group? Let's say people are like, I don't know anybody that hold me accountable. How did you find those groups?
Oh my God. So I'm in Atlanta, and Atlanta is full of aspiring every single thing. Okay. So, if you can't find a group of folks that want to be some in Atlanta, I don't know what.
All right. So that does help if you're in Atlanta. If you're not in Atlanta, try Meetup. meetup.com. Try Meetup.com or try Facebook groups.
Yes. Facebook groups, you all too, because we meet on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And of course, I look forward to seeing us. And it has, we only meet twice a week. So it's like, come on, like get there on Tuesday, get there on Thursday. So that's a good thing too, just with being consistent with content. Because sometimes doing content can have an inconsistency when you're just like, oh, I'm just going to talk to myself. It's not as, engaging. So like being a part of a group. And I also therapy, having a therapist this year. I had a therapist for the entire year. And I really will say that it was very beneficial. I had a lot of emotional growth in my life last year. And I think that one of the biggest takeaways in therapy was self advocacy, which sometimes can be difficult on a professional level. And sometimes, if you're a person who's if you're lenient and if you're Black operating in any infrastructure of white supremacy, which is typically day jobs, and you're navigating corporate spaces, then you're typically, find yourself in a constant band. And then you just have these situations where, depending on what your position is, you have other people that you answer to. So these dynamics, can play an emotional role on how you feel and what you do. And so having a therapist really helped me just basically self-advocacy. And I would say on a personal level, on a professional level, having somebody to help you grow emotionally and how you feel, being able to process how you feel with somebody on a professional level is very helpful. Because sometimes we just kind of stick with the feeling of how I feel or I'm angry. And I would never forget my therapist one time. She says, well, a person is never really angry, and then when you all start talking, it's not even anger, it's disappointment. It's not even anger. Your feelings are hurt. Like it's so many other different things beyond anger. But because anger is the easier emotion, you just live with, I'm upset, I'm mad. And then I think that you start to process, well, I'm not really upset about this. This is disappointing to me because what I had in mind was like you learn to become a better communicator. It's just so many things. So first of all, I paid for therapy out of pocket. So y'all need to go to the Freedom Company and pick up some t-shirts.
How did you turn that into a
Y'all need to take the moment and go to www.the.freedom.
I cannot with you.
Let me tell you. I said, can you send me a full invoice? Can you send me a ledger of all my therapy sessions? And she was like, absolutely, sure. I'll make sure the accounting team gets that. That damn bill must have came through my email. I was like,
ma'am,
you got $5,000 in 2021 for me? Like, I was like, you know what? I must talk to my mom about this prayer and worship.
You know what, Madam President? I'm so glad you do it. I watched a documentary called Healing or something like it's on Netflix. Okay. And there was this woman, and they were talking about like meditation, what got me in my meditation and all that. There's this woman who's experiencing skin outbreaks, like boils, like Job from the Bible, boils all over her face and her neck. And she tried to do some holistic approaches, and I think it was working. I think she thought it was working. But one of her comments was, if it was more affordable to do these like meditation groups and these holistic things and the herbs and all that, she would do it. And I think she was just stuck in that whole traditional medicine thing. But she didn't even stick with it, right? She has boils, like heating, they're hot, they're ugly, they're, atrocious and invading her space and messing up her day, causing her to be lightheaded. And she couldn't. I don't know what her situation was. Now, I'm not judging her. I'm just saying she couldn't prioritize her personal healing. And you are. So I'm proud of you for spending that money because we're going to spend it on something, right? Like it goes somewhere or you invest in whatever, but you have to invest in yourself if it's important to you. And I commend you for making that out-of-pocket choice to say, for whatever reason, you're not using your insurance, it's not covered, whatever it is, but this is important to me, so I'm going to do it. And
that's
you did.
Right.
Because that's what self-care really looks like. It's like that trade-off, right? Like, I'm not going to buy this thing, but I'm going to take care of myself.
Yeah, and I tell her, I said, you got me strong enough for once a month come 2022. We ain't got to see each other. Chop this invoice in half. I like that.
Same. I did the same thing, Madam President. I was just like, I'm healed.
Yeah, I'm healed.
Praise the Lord.
All right, so that takes us into celebrate your successes. Get to therapy so you can get some successes,
right?
But then celebrate them. I will raise my hand and attest that I do not celebrate myself or my victories enough. One of the ways that you guys can do that throughout the year to help you stay consistent is to set milestones. So you set these goals, but then track them, right? What are your milestones? Did you drink the water you're supposed to drink each day? Did you raise a certain amount of money? Are you at a certain place with your sales? Have you been going out on enough dates? I don't know what your goals are for the year, but whatever your goal is, what are milestones that you can create to track them? And then when you do and as you do, celebrate them. I cannot tell you all of the accomplishments I made last year. And I should be able to. I should be tracking them. I should be writing them down. We don't celebrate ourselves enough. We don't take time to value who we are and what we've done and where we aren't, how far we've come. A lot of times we're looking so far ahead to what's next. We don't take the time to be grateful for what we've already accomplished, where we already are. The fact that we already have the Freedom Company and it's up and it's running. And every time I wear my sweatshirt out in the street, somebody stops me and says, "Where did you get that? Can you give me the website?" And I have to like, okay, hold on. This dude, I was at AT&T the other day. He stood and waited for me to finish buying my watch at the door for me to come out to be like, hold on. So it's like, can you tell me where you got that sweatshirt? I mean, like people stop me to wear it for that sweatshirt. I've worn it so much that it's coming loose. And that's because I wear it almost every day, right? Or if you're leaving your military job of 20 something years to become an exit strategist to teach crypto, right? Like that is huge. Like there's successes along the way. Or you leave your corporate job and start a t-shirt company. And now you're teaching other people how to do t-shirts company and you're coaching. Like these are huge accomplishments that happen throughout our lives. And because we're just fulfilling our dream, we just think, I'm on the road. I'm not where I want to be. So why am I just celebrating this? You know how many people want to be where you are today?
Where you are.
And do you know that a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, you wanted to be the you that you are today? Yeah. So like you have to think about that too, because 3 years ago, I was still at my job, or even 2 years ago, a year ago, I was still at my job. Like, I want to get out this job, and then I got out. It's like, I have to celebrate that because I got out and I'm a full-time entrepreneur now. It's like, okay, I'm not making the sales that I want to make, but guess what? Like, I'm way, past where I was a year ago, so it's like, this is the you that you wanted, that you prayed for.
You prayed for.
You are the you dreamed of.
You prayed for you today. And I had made a post, maybe like last month. I said, I'm the me that I prayed for. So that gives me hope and faith that I'm going to reach my goals. Like, it's a matter of time, so I'm still praying. So I'm going to get there. But let's celebrate the me today. You need to be celebrating the you today.
Yeah.
Yeah, my eyes all watered. I'm like, oh Lord, come on, preach, pass the collection plate.
Yes.
That is good.
One thing I noticed, you guys, and this is a very vulnerable moment, is I have been moving in fear for a large portion of my life. Like, I do things out of fear that it's not going to work out, or out of fear if I don't do it, this other thing is going to happen. Like, a lot of the decisions I make, they look courageous and they look intelligent and all this, but it's from a place of fear. So that's one of the things that I've been working on these last several weeks is I'm not doing that anymore. Like, I'm saying no. That's going to be a complete sentence. And I'm a really good no saying person. So my friends would be like, I don't believe that, but it's so true. Like, I probably have anxiety because I'm fearful of the unknown, and I'm going to let that go because I think we are the only things that are in our own way. Like, we literally, if we manifest that thing and we can envision it and we make the plans to do it and we start enacting it, there's no reason that it can't happen unless we stop it from happening. Because as you can see, anything is possible. We just have to make it happen. So I'm really like looking fear in the face and saying, when I feel myself get afraid, I'm either going to just do it or not do it, but it's not going to be because of fear. It's going to be because it's just not the decision for me, or it is a decision for me at the time. So that's definitely a work in progress for me.
You know what people don't realize though, and as you're speaking, I can totally get it. I operate out of a fear of success. So I don't have a fear of failure, I have a fear of success, right?
Yeah.
And so as you're talking, what we don't realize is that fear is a motivator too. So if you think about everything that you've accomplished operating out of fear, can you imagine how much more you would accomplish if you didn't operate out of fear?
Right.
But look at what you've accomplished, even though you've been operating in fear. Right. So without fear, it's like taking the boundaries off. It's like releasing the limits. It's freeing. But fear didn't stop you. I have this thing on my wall right now. I must look at it. And it says courage before confidence. So sometimes we can be fearful and just have enough courage to get that one thing done before we actually get to the confidence. So you operating in fear, showing yourself that you can do it and that you can accomplish these things, will make operating out of fear so much more easier, because now you're operating with intention. You're operating out of fear. You know what you're doing, and it will just make your experiences that much more beautiful and seamless.
Yes.
Imagine how great we can be. Marianne Williamson quote: "It's not our darkness that we fear; it's our light." Like, it is so, like, I consider myself a freaking superstar, and I'm acknowledging right now that I've been moving in fear for over 20 years. So imagine if and when I can let that fully go, who the hell I'm going to be. Like Madam President said, remember who the hell you are, because I'm excited. I gave me chills just thinking about who I can be when I'm not moving in fear. Like, it's just gonna be, maybe it will be a great 2022, because it's gonna blow up, like, for real.
And you know what, Teddy? The truth is, I feel like, we have nothing to lose, when we like dissect it, throw it out there. It's nothing, like, we have nothing to lose.
You just learn. I think it was Albert Einstein, if I'm not wrong. He said they asked him, it took him like 10,000 times to figure out how to create electricity, and he was like, I didn't fail 10,000 times. I learned 10,000 ways and how not to do it.
How not to do it, yeah.
Right? So some of that is our self-talk. So have you guys read The Secret or watched The Secret?
Yeah, I was just about to talk about that.
I bought the book because I went to my library, I picked out 12 books, and I was like, these are the 12 books that have to get read this year. I don't care if I read them all in the first quarter, how I read them, but these are my 12 books for the year. And The Secret was at the top, so I was like, let's start there. So I'm reading The Secret. I read it first thing in the morning and before I go to bed, so that I can set my intentions for the day, and then when I go to sleep, what I want to think about. And so today I was getting dressed, putting on my face and whatever, and I was like, let me listen to it. So I'm listening to it in real time and the voices and stuff, and I'm like, oh my God, this stuff is so good. Setting your intentions, being visual, what you think, what you speak. And so as I'm listening to it, I'm like replaying my thoughts, and I'm replaying my words, and I'm like, I am speaking so much death over situations. I am thinking so much death over situations, not intentionally, just what we do, right? Just how we do. I want to have a $50,000 launch. That's too much. Let's just do 15,000. I want to be in a relationship, but you're difficult. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not doing it intentionally. It's just how we've been programming what we do. And The Secret is all about just being intentional. Change your thoughts, because whatever it is, you're going to attract it, whether you want it or not. If all you think about is debt, you will attract debt. And I was just like, oh my God, it was so mind blowing. And here, the thing is, they call it a secret, but that shit ain't a secret.
We know we can't do it though.
Right.
We just can't do it.
And I was just gonna say, going back to those small wins and that gratitude, like, I thought about The Secret because The Secret talks about the law of attraction. So if you are being grateful for those small wins, you're gonna continue to attract wins. But if you're only thinking about the scarcity side of things, like, I didn't do this, I don't have this, then that's what you're going to attract. You're going to attract that scarcity. So you have to be very careful about what you think and what you say and what you speak over your life.
Yes. So I'm going to ask you guys this, but I want to ask the audience first. In the comments, give me a post of one of two things. You can either post what are some of your goals and resolutions for 2022. That's one. You can do that. Or damn it, I forgot too. This 45-year-old brain will leave me. Like I have to write these down. So post your resolutions for the new year, or answer this second question that I'm about to ask right now. So the second question is for the panel, but also for you guys in the audience. Is it hard to say and speak your big goals for the year?
No.
So do you say I want to make $1 million this year, or do you be like, probably more like 500,000?
So the thing is, with me and my goals, I'm also realistic. So I know, and I am okay that I'm not going to make $1 million this year. If I do, I mean, hey, I'll accept it. But I know that that's not going, I'm not on track to make $1 million this year. So like, you have to set these smart goals. I can't just say like, wake up January 1st, like, oh yeah, like, okay, this is the year, like we're going to be a billionaire this year. Like, no, we're not going to do that. Right. So I set goals that I know are attainable, but that are still big enough, right? So like eventually I'll get to the $1 million, but it's just not in 2022, and that's okay.
I love it. I think a lot of us don't dream big enough. And I think it's because especially intelligent people, because they know the work that's going to go into reaching that goal. So they're like, yeah, I'm not going to do that, but I will do this, right? But if you're going to work 40 hours a week or 50 hours a week or 60 hours a week, you could work for $6 an hour, you work for $8 an hour, $10 an hour, $50 an hour, $100 an hour, $150 an hour. You're still working those 40 hours. So I think over time, I've learned to value myself and not devalue myself. So it's easier for me to have lofty goals than it used to be because I know my worth. But it was a growth that I had to go through to get there. And I level up every year, but I have to do the work, right? So I feel overwhelmed, and I start lowering my goals a little bit or I try to do things smarter so that I can reach those goals. So it used to be hard, it's getting less hard, but not easy yet.
Okay. Yeah. What about you, Madam President?
I'm so sorry. I'm over here fighting with my dog.
No, don't worry. I was showing them my dog is literally sitting right here.
Oh. Okay. I'm like, he got something in his mouth, and I'm just like, one thing for sure, your dog will try to give you a vet bill every chance they get. So
I'm already paying for therapy. I can't afford no.
Only one of us can be healthy.
Please, but I was going to say, when it comes to those goals, if you like, it's like a difference between the goal and the dream, right? But they're one and the same. So like the dream may be, oh, I want to be a multimillionaire. That could be the dream. But the goal is this year, I want to make, $300,000 or $30,000 consistently, or, $15,000 consistently. Shit, I want to pay the IRS, like whatever that is, like whatever that goal is different. Sometimes I believe from that dream, but I believe that I would love to leave some room for a miracle, right? Like I want to have a dream and goals, but I don't want to get in the way of impossibility. Like if something I may think is impossible, what I like about being a believer is like, oh man, that happened. You literally have, and I'm just going to be random as hell and just use the internet, for example. You have people like, let's just say the Gorilla Glue girl, who pretty much, made a dumb choice and goes viral and becomes a part of a conversation for a whole week and a month follow-up and write-ups and and a doctor says, I want to help. You mean to tell me an idiot who will use Gorilla Glue on their hair will have more of a year than a entrepreneur who's putting in intentionality?
Right.
You gotta believe that, it's possible. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like sometimes the goal is so big, you don't even want to tell nobody, but I will never forget. This is one of the things that I know about working with Dr. Boyce when I was in college. Dr. Boyce like almost had this idea. He had an assistant named Shantae, right? And we had to go to Memphis or something like that. And I was in college and I went to like Shantae house and we were working and like I was only gonna be there for a weekend. Dr. Boyce was so in love with this setup. He was like, I really think this is good. You know, Chanel, how much longer you got for college? I'm like, I ain't finna stay here, you know. Idea was like, I think, you know, the isolation and the focus is so strong. It can go so far, but you'll see people like that who have isolated themselves for years at a time. And then they have like this, like you say, Keisha, these big years, these big numbers. And it's just like, dang. So honestly, Lene, sometimes I think like it's for 2022. I'm not even like thinking about 2022 as much as I'm thinking about 2032.
Oh, okay.
So it's like I'm thinking like, what can I do this year consistently and get and be so miraculous through the help of the creator that it can change the next 10 years of my life.
I love it.
We have to be thinking about. We do have to be thinking about goals. So one of the things I talk to my clients about, entrepreneurs about, is strategy. Like strategy is not what you're doing this year. It's the 3 year, it's the 5 year, it's the 7 year, it's the 10 year. That's strategy. And it's long term. It's not, these are my goals for the year. It's I want to be $1 million business, like we were talking about with Keisha. And in order for me to be $1 million business, I got to hit 250 this first year, 375 year 2. I got to get 500,000 by about here, about 750,000 by here in order to get to that million. So within about 7 years, I can see myself reaching $1 million business. But it's laying that plan out, which we don't do. To kind of sum up how I look at goals and things of that nature. And you gave me my T. It's like art, right? So setting goals, I don't use SMART goals anymore. And there's a reason why. I'm not going to go into it here. But it's been refuted. That's the academic in me doing all this research. I won't go into it right now. We can talk about SMART goals another day. But I've narrowed it down to art. So your goal should be attainable. First set goal, right? Something that you know you can reach, because you don't want to set a goal that's difficult and hard because you won't be motivated to go after it. But then it should be realistic, right? So if it's too easy, then it's not the right goal. It should be something that's realistic, that makes you have to stretch into it. So if you know you can do 100,000, then you probably want to set your goal at 175, right? If you know you can do 100, then why would you make that the goal? You want it to be something that's also a stretch. But then the piece where we fall off of is the T, which is what Madam President gave me, the impossible, right? And a lot of times the impossible is really your dream goal. Like that's really the number that you want. So for example, if I know I want to do 500,000 this year, that's my impossible goal. I'm not saying that that's mine. I'm just saying that let's say 500,000 is my impossible goal. So then my realistic goal or my stretch goal might be 300,000. Like, okay, then let's shoot for 3, right? The thing that I like to tell people, and this is what I give my clients all the time, I'm going to give this to you guys for free. Be careful how you set your goals, because a lot of times we fall short. And so what happens, this is what I see happen with my clients, is they will set a $300,000 goal and hit 175. But if you set a $500,000 goal, you'll hit 300,000. So you always want to kind of give yourself some room for stretch. If you know you can do 300, and I know these are like crazy numbers. I apologize. So let's just say 100,000. Let's make it a little more. Let's make it 100,000, right? So let's say you want to have your first 6-figure year. I want to make $100,000 in my business. Cool. Then reach for 150. If you reach for 150, you probably land at 100. But if you set 100, you might only hit 75. So whatever your goal is, whatever that might be, put a little stretch on it so that you can actually hit the number that you want.
I like that. I like that.
All right. So we talked about the secret. We talked about being realistic. We talked about celebrating. We talked about being attainable. We talked about laying out a plan. So this is just year 1 of whatever the goal is, right? So you just want to figure out, what do I want? What do I need to hit this year? This is the laying the foundation year. This is the getting consistent year. This is the creating better me for what I want to see happen in my life in year 3, year 4, year 5, right? In order for these things to take place, the real thing that needs to happen throughout your year, whether it's for your business, your health, your relationships, is personal development.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Personal
Yep.
Work on stuff. Now, one thing I saw a post, I'm going to get your guys' opinion. This girl was saying that the comment that you need to get out of your comfort zone in order to grow and stretch and all this stuff. And she refuted that. She was like, no, you need to operate within your comfort zone and find those things that you can stretch while you're there. So basically, she was saying that it's like that unattainable goal. You always need to do something outside of yourself and outside of your comfort and your health to be greater or be better and make more money. But you can do those things within your comfort zone, right? So I think it just depends on how big people's comfort zone is. Like my comfort zone is probably 1,000 miles wide, right? Like I can be anywhere, I can eat anything, I can do anything, I can figure out some languages, I can be comfortable in foreign spaces. But other people don't want to leave their house, let alone canoodle with someone that that has a different culture and a different language and different food than them. So because my comfort zone's so large, I'm usually within it. But stretching that comfort zone for people who don't have a big one is something maybe that they need to work on. Maybe not leaving your comfort zone, but stretching it.
Yeah. Oh, cute. I like that.
I really had thought about that. And I was like, that's deep. I think her name is Picky Girl Travels the World. So I'm going to give her credit. But yeah, that's what she said. And I like that.
That's so cute.
Yeah.
Something I was going to say that in therapy was said too. It's not the exact same thing, but it kind of reminds me of a similarity where I remember my therapist mentioning that why don't we do the things that come easy? Like, we would just write down some goals or some things that I was kind of naturally good at. And I'm like, the rat race of my industry sometimes is like taxing, and I don't know how much I want to invest into the space. And so, she says, and then I started thinking like, I poems come easy. Storytelling comes easy. And she's like, well, why don't you do more of that? I'm like, maybe it's because it comes easy, but why do we go away from what comes easy? Like it's something wrong with it.
Yeah.
So that's a great question. So let me ask you this. I have an opinion, but I'm gonna throw this out there. And if you're in the chat, I want you guys to chime in on this too. What should you work on most? Your strengths or your weaknesses?
Mm.
What should you give the most attention to? Your strengths or your weaknesses? This is a question for anybody can answer this, and then I'll tell you what I've read. What do you got? What do you think, Teddy? Did you focus on your strengths or focus on your weaknesses?
Because I'm in a year transition, I'm focusing on my strengths because I feel like I can maximize the return on my strengths. But in a different year, at a different time, when you don't have big, lofty goals planned that are transitional and transformational, then I think you should focus on your weaknesses.
Okay.
So it's all strengths for me this year.
So it depends, right? So for me, I think I agree with Teddy. I think you should focus on your strengths. And like she said, maximize on those strengths. I rather, how they say jack of all trades, master of none. Like I want to master, something, right? So I want to master my strengths. And then when I master my strengths, then I could focus on some of those weaknesses if I want to, right? Because who says that you have to do that, right? Who says that if you're not good at something, you have to be good at it? You don't have to be good at it. Like you're good at something else. So do that. So I think for me, I want to be the master of my strengths and then focus on the weaknesses if I want to.
Okay. Madam President?
Well, I feel very the same as Teddy and Keisha. I feel like I know I wish I could be a devil's advocate, but I really do believe that if I could perfect my strength, then I can probably invest a little bit more time in my weaknesses because once I can get my strengths perfected. But it's kind of like, why stray away from something that in basketball, when you are strong and you're like a strong dribbler in your right hand, right? the defense wants to just completely, they want to stop you from using your hand because they're going to send you the other way. So what happens is a coach, a good coach anyway, would try to get you to, you know, be better with that left hand so that when they send you that way, you can take off too. But I think that some people are so strong that some people don't even get a chance to stop them. So I think I will just want to continue to be the strongest as possible in my strengths.
You actually almost alluded to what I was about to say when you gave the basketball analogy, and it was good. So I'll continue with it.
Okay.
So say that you should work on your weaknesses. That's what is said. If you're already strong in a particular area and you're already doing good in that area, that muscle already knows how to work. So you should put your time and energy into the muscles that don't know how to work. It will make you more balanced. So if you think of working out, somebody who always works out their upper body, what do they have? Chicken legs.
Chicken legs,
right? Or vice versa. You got these big, thick legs, and you running around here looking like a Tyrannosaurus Rex, right? But exactly what you guys said, people will gravitate to what's easiest. And so what will happen is if you gravitate to what's easiest and you only have your strengths, then those will be the only tools that you will use in your toolbox. When there's all these other tools that you can use, but because you're not good at them, you'll leave those tools sitting there and just keep using these tools, not knowing that one of these tools over here might be the tool that you need to take to the next level. But because it's not your strength or something that you're good at, you'll shy away from it and you won't use it and you won't know how to use it. So when the time comes for it to be used, you won't know how to use it.
You don't know how to use it. Yeah.
Can I give a little pushback? Because I'm like, can I just pay somebody to do the stuff?
Now there is that. So there is that in certain things, in certain areas, right?
Right.
Hypothetically speaking, let's say you are good at doing videos, but you're not good at talking to people live. So let's say you're comfortable talking on video, you're comfortable doing pre-recorded, but now you're offered $10,000 to come and speak at 10X with Grant Cardone on a stage with 3,000 people. You don't know what to do. You don't know how to do it. You're freaked out. You have to pass on that opportunity because you didn't take the time to practice speaking live in front of an audience so that you would be comfortable with it. You can't pay somebody to do that.
Right.
So it depends. It depends. but that's the important part of knowing what do you need to be successful in your life, career, and or business. What are your strengths based on those needs? And what areas are you weak in that you might want to focus on to give you more balance? Everything that they're not good at, you don't have to know. Right. But what are the things that could stop you or slow you down from progressing that you probably could focus on? Yeah. It's not all these things because like Keisha said, something you can hire somebody to do. You may not need to understand marketing. You know what? I'm going to hire somebody to do marketing. That might be a weakness for you. You don't have to understand it, but you should know enough about it to know how to communicate what you need.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So it will vary, but the wisdom is in knowing which one of these weaknesses should you focus on, or do you need to have the muscle in?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And when I read that, I was like, damn, that's good.
It's like know thyself, right? You have to know what you don't know so that you know if you need to know it so that you can be better. Right. Or somebody's going to ask you about it. Like Keisha made a good example about being a jack of all trades, master of none. It depends on what field you're in, if that works, right? But then sometimes you really need to barrel down on that one topic because that's what people are coming to you for. So you need to become the expert. And then after that, you can start branching out a little bit. But they're coming to you for this one thing, so you better know it. So when they ask the questions, you have the answers, and then you can branch out. So it's definitely like, as anything in life, yin and yang. You know, you got to find that balance. You have to find
even the analogy, a jack of all trades, master of none, it shortchanges the jack of all trades. So I am a jack of all trades. There's nothing about business that you cannot ask me because I specialize in business development. I have to know how to fully develop a business. I know branding, I know marketing, I know sales, I know how to pay, I know everything. But if you want advanced marketing, I have to send you somebody else. Because that's what they specialize in. So I know a lot about all these different things. If you need to come and get your business set up and you need to know, which is better and easier than going to 7 different people because you can come to one person and get you set up. But then when it comes to, okay, you're ready to go to this next level, We need to then communicate with somebody that specifically does this. We need to communicate with somebody that specifically does this, that specializes it. So even the analogy itself is kind of like, well, sometimes you need a jack of all trades because you need one person that can tell you about everything.
Right.
And sometimes you need the person that's a master in that certain thing.
But are you a jack of all trades or are you a master of many trades? You know what I mean? So like
I like that one. I'm a master of many trades.
There's always going to be someone that is better, right? Someone that's more experienced, but that doesn't mean that you're not a master. So like to me, when I think about a jack of all trades, I'm thinking about someone that is like, yeah, I know a little bit here.
But I tinker with this. I tinker with that. You know?
Right.
I'm not a tinkerer. I'm a master in everything I know. So.
You a master.
We got to start speaking. We got to know who the hell we are and start speaking out loud about who that is, and not have that imposter syndrome.
Yes.
Or that fear of what people will think. One thing I do definitely as an adult, I don't compare myself to anyone. I don't walk around comparing myself, and a lot of people are very comparative. Like as soon as you say something, they're trying to compare you to somebody else. I'm like, and I didn't stop them. I'm like, well, I'm not comparing myself because really nobody compares to me. I'm my own person, and nobody can do what I do. Yeah. And that's how I go forth in this world. Is people can do some things better than me and some things they can't, but nobody is me, and I'm the best me there is, and I'm going to use her to be the best thing in the world, right? And be unstoppable. All these people that we look at in social media, entertainment industry, whoever you look up to, they're people. They poop, they on the top, they do all this, like just like you, pants one leg at a time. They're not special. They have special traits, and so do you. So you just have to master it and then know how to market yourself whatever you're trying to get into, and do the damn thing and stay consistent, and you will be unstoppable too, like 100%, 100. So
you're already unstoppable. You just play it small. You just don't know.
You just play it small. Exactly. We do it. We shrink. We keep shrinking and shrinking.
Well, I'm excited that we have this conversation. Hopefully, first of all, let me say it was beneficial to me. I hope it was beneficial to you guys in the audience. For everybody that's going into this new year and trying to stay committed to your goals and everything that's happening in your life and everything that you are being intentional about, or you're broadcasting, or you're manifesting, or you're meditating on, or you're praying on. I pray that this conversation will empower you and carry you through the year. Before we go, I want to read the quote by Marianne Williams. For those of you that may not have heard it before, I'm going to read it for you. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, and fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people will not feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It is not just in some of us, it is in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give others permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. So with that, I pray that this year blow your mind. Not just blow your mind, but that you take your boundaries off, you pull your fear down, and you be vulnerable and let your light shine and let the world see it. And that you set lofty goals and intentions. And for my co-host, I'm excited to watch what's going to happen in each one of your guys' lives this year with the Freedom Company, with Teddy's business, crypto, and her exit strategist business as she leaves her career job, with Keisha and her t-shirt business and her new boo relationship. She might be married by the end of the year, going 2023. We don't even know. There's just so much opportunity in 2022, and I'm excited to be here with you guys, my co-hosts, as well as you guys in the audience. And any final thought or comments before we say goodbye, ladies?
I'm over here tearing up. I'm emotional.
All right over there. Now that quote, that's my favorite quote. It really. I had to like listen to it over and had to read it over and over. It took me like a month to really digest what she was saying. Like I broke it down line by line, and it's so true. Like our light is what scares us because it's you. It's pure you. So no, I didn't. That was just beautiful, beautiful. I love it. You're muted, Madam President.
Are you talking, Madam? Yeah, I'm like, Chanel, are you talking to us?
I'm sorry. I just wanted to say that I remember listening to Les Brown because I know we're about to go. Sorry, Lene. But I remember listening to Les Brown. I can't remember, but it was something about the mind creates negative thoughts. You don't even have to work for it. It does it on its own. But it's through so much like external experience. Like even your parents, sometimes even your parents never accomplish their wildest dreams. They don't even know dream talk. They don't even know that level of the life that you dream of because they've never experienced it. So sometimes we have all this we're looking for all this external validation and support. And these people are incapable of, it's kind of like a person, like they say, going to medical school, it's a different beast. It's not a hashtag. You got to really know how to be a doctor. You got to pass the test. So it's kind of like in getting through each of those courses and then that residency and then the whatever else is next and then becoming a doctor working, that's a whole life, and it's like nobody can really tell you how to get that unless they've done it themselves.
Right. Yeah. And I just have a final thought to piggyback off of Madam President. You are not your thoughts. So what you think is not who you are. So, we're constantly picking up on the things that we see, the things that we hear, the energies that we're around. We're constantly picking up on those things. And then it gets embedded into our brain. And then we have those thoughts, but those thoughts didn't originate with us. So just be mindful of what you're consuming. Guard your eyes, guard your ears, like guard your energy, because the next thing you know, you're picking up on all of these things. The next thing you know, you're thinking thoughts and you're doing things that is not even authentically you. So be mindful and beware and guard your thoughts, guard your eyes, guard your ears, guard your energy.
Yes.
Yes, and yes. All right. Well, we thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode of Melanated Air. As you know, we do this every Tuesday and Thursday at 2:00 p.m. Eastern. You can catch us here later this week on Thursday. We'll be here having another conversation about something we don't know yet. But we'll see you then. Thank you so much. Happy New Year. Make this your best year yet. Yeah. Be blessed, stay black, and be one. We'll see you guys next time.